my scrappy friends, I have a fun layout for you today. I'm going to be working on a series called the 6 Degrees of Scraplifting with a group of YouTube ladies. And we all are going to be scrapbooking each other, except for Leah. She's the one who started the scrapbook chain. And this is like the game of telephone where you say someone starts off with a phrase and then the rest of the group repeats it to one another in their ear, and then eventually you end up with something completely different from the original thought or phrase. And so we're trying this in scrapbooking form. So Leah started, and then Susanna, and I am scraplifting from Susanna. So you could see her layout at the beginning. And so now I'm just going to try to take that idea and that concept and make it me. So as you can see, I did a little bit of mixed media. I thought I had this on the video, and then apparently I didn't. I must have deleted it. I am using a mix of old Citrus Twist kit and then the One Canoe 2 collection that just came out in like January, maybe December, January. But it's really fun, and like it has a lot of dark and rich tones. So that is what I'm doing. And on this background with that mixed media, I just took some acrylic paint and then I kind of did mix some water in with the blue to tone it down a little bit, and then I just added splatters. So it's really, really simple. And now I'm going to use some papers to make some layers, and I'm just going to cut them down a little bit and have them different shapes and sizes. This is something that I have done on my own anyway. And it's just a technique that I do like doing. And the way that the layers that Susanna had, and I thought that this would kind of work fun. And I also want some bits and pieces of some other stuff to stick out. And so I'm just kind of playing around with these pictures. I wanted them to be kind of overlapping a little bit, though I probably could have not covered up the snow picture. So on a side note, I'll tell you a little bit about these pictures. So one of these, or both of these pictures are from my yard, and they're from in February, like near the beginning of February. We had a really big snowstorm, and I live in Washington State, the western side. So unlike the eastern side that gets quite a bit of snow because of all the mountains, on the western side, right near the ocean, and I'm not like right on the ocean, but I'm pretty close to the ocean, in mileage terms. It's quite warm, and so there's not really much snow, but we did get a really good snowstorm. And so I wanted to show the contrast of us having tons of snow, and then because it is warmer, later in the week we had no snow left. So we got about a foot or so, maybe a little bit more than that. Of snow, which is quite a lot for here. When I lived in New York, a foot of snow is a decent sized snowstorm, but it was not rare to have like 2 or almost 3 feet of snow. But for it all to melt in less than 1 week is just like super crazy. And so I really wanted to document that how like we had tons of snow, and then later on the week it was so warm and it was just raining again, and it was gone. So, and even the next day after the bottom picture, I also had taken a picture, and there was absolutely no snow, but it was so steamy or like foggy because of all the snow melting. It was crazy. But I'm also working, so back to the layout, I'm just working on these layers, trying to get lots of different patterns and stuff together, and I want different pieces to be sticking out at different places, and I want those edges to be showing because I'm not putting anything behind these photos, so I'm not layering the photos. It's just, you know, how it is. So having stuff sticking out, and my thought was to have the watercolor, or the paint, I should say, it's not really watercolor. to act as part of the layers. So it kind of looks like it's in part of the layers. And it does kind of work. It ends up working out better to like as a grounding point for my title. And I'm just trying to figure out how I want to put the embellishments because I want a few, but I don't want to go crazy either because there is already a lot going on with all these layers and the mixed media. I mean, it's fun, but at some point you got to stop, right? So I'm looking through the die cuts that came in that kit that I had gotten. I want to say it was January maybe, but maybe it was December. It was a cute, actually, you know what? It might have been December. It was a cute kit. I had a lot of blues and stuff, so it kind of worked out well with my photo, especially that top photo, because a lot of my pictures that I took from the snow ended up being more of a blue color because of all the clouds in the sky. I haven't quite mastered the art of taking photos in the snow and in a place where it's not very bright. I feel like in certain areas where the sun shines a little bit more, you could probably get better quality photos. But anyway, but I really enjoyed Susanna's layout, and it was kind of hard because you think a lot about how much do I want to change this layout and to make it me, and how much of it do I want to stay the same. And so this is where I'm really excited to see how it's going to go. And I'll make sure I have the info below in the description box so that you can follow the next person tomorrow. Roxanne, or is it Roxana? I think it's Roxanne. She's going next. So you'll be able to watch her video tomorrow. So you have to stay tuned to that. But I'm just really excited to see how everyone's layouts come out because it's so interesting just to see how we each add our own little twist to things to make it our own. So I am kind of taking some of these die cuts and those cork pieces from that kit, from the collection from One Canoe 2. And the name of the collection is completely off the top of my head. I should know, right? There's so many more collections now. I feel like sometimes there's so many that come out all around the same time that it's easy to get them mixed up or something. But I use quite a bit of the pieces from that December kit too. It was kind of hard to decide what I didn't want to use. And so the reasoning behind using that noted circle, I debated of whether or not to use it because really on my layout, there's not a lot of yellow. And I was like, does this fit? Does this fit? But in one of the papers, that was from crepe paper, I think it was from Snow and Cocoa, it has all these little lines and you can see it. It's really hard to see, but there's that mustardy yellow color in one little teeny tiny bit. And so I wanted to bring that out. So I have that X on the one side and then the noted circle. And I think that's pretty much about it, except for one of the hearts that I use, which I'll put it on there later. Here we go, from the Pink Fresh Studio. Has a little bit of that mustard up at the top. So that's just kind of what I did to add that color throughout so it doesn't look completely and like, where did this yellow come from? And it is kind of hard to see, but I wanted it to be that way. I didn't want it to overwhelm because really in my photos there's not that yellow, but I do have a naturey, I mean, it's a nature photo, so I did want to have some of those natural colors of what you might see in the grass in the wintertime. I mean, even though it's rainy here, it's still pretty cold. It's cold enough that, I mean, the grass doesn't really grow even though you have a ton of rain. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I mean, it's not like now where, later in the year, it really starts growing. So So stuff is still pretty dead. But anywho. So like I said, look in the info box below and you'll just have to wait each day until we're at the end of the series, and then you can see all of our layouts. And I hope you guys enjoy them, because we had a lot of fun getting this all situated and set up for you guys so that it could be executed properly. And I really want to say thank you to Leah, because she did so much work to get this started. It's so much fun. This is so much fun. And yeah, so super, super fun. And so now I'm just building my title, and I use those news, like they almost look like typewriter key font chipboard. And I used the 3s for E's because I didn't have any E's left. And I had 2 3s, so I figured that would work. And then I'm going to add some of the gold and teal color, because that just kind of brings in some of the other colors from the layout. And it's just going to say all in 1 week. And then I'm not sure if my journaling is, you see my journaling, probably not. I tend to do it after, like I tend to turn off my camera and then write the journaling. So I just did all the journaling down at the bottom, and because this is a like ledger type of paper, the one background, it works really well for journaling quite a bit of stuff. I mean, it's kind of smushed, but that's the problem when you add journaling to a layout, right? Is either you need to think about it ahead of time and actually have a specific place, which I mean, I guess I could have did, but that's not really my style, so that's okay. So my journaling is, like I said, it takes up quite a bit of space, but it just is one of those heart things that you write, and then I never do my journaling pre-written, so what comes out when I'm doing the layout is what comes out. And I'm okay with that. I think that we all just have to be okay with doing our own style. So here is the layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys had fun. And don't forget to watch the next video tomorrow and use the links in the description box, and follow us on social media so that you can see whose videos are next in the series. And we will see you guys later. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.